Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Let's Mod Mountain Blade Warband series. So today I promised you guys some headgear, and that's what we're going to be doing. I also mentioned in the last episode a different way to transfer or import-export meshes, and so we're going to be covering that as well. There'll be a couple mini tutorials mixed in here because I'm going to have to get pretty creative with some of this headgear. So the base helmet for our Swadian troops is going to be this German World War II style helmet from Parabellum 1.2. This is in the Helvetian resource pack, and it's the helmet at the very bottom. Now, there's a couple of variants of this helmet in the game. There's this one that has like an armor plate on the front, which I might decide to carry over as well. There is a variant with a gas mask. For whatever reason, the gas mask is missing in this mod, so I actually tracked it down. Or excuse me, the textures for the gas mask are missing. So I actually tracked them down in a different mod. So that's what it would look like if it were textured. And I've already transferred all these textures over to our new mod file. So we're just going to be working with meshes today for the most part, with the exception of our hat. So I found a couple hats I like for like our recruits and our light infantry. Obviously, the standard infantry and the heavy troopers are going to have a helmet or a helmet and a gas mask or something to that effect. But the recruits, I wanted to look a little bit less well equipped, and so we're going to give them a military cap like this. Now, there's two versions of this hat I've been able to find. One being this one here, and the other is actually in this same resource pack under, let's see, Helvetian Hat 3. Now, the issue with this one is I actually really like the model on it. However, I want to be able to retexture it, and I wanted to add, so our dark blue color scheme, for reference, here's our coat. This is their basic uniform if you guys are just joining us. So I wanted to do the dark blue color on the hat and then have some red trim here and here and then there. But when I went to look at the texture, there's no defining features on it at all. It's just a plain solid texture. And the bump map and the specular map are also the same. So there's no way for me to tell what is where. So I would have to basically sit there and do trial and error. Basically, just mark lines on this in different colors and see where they end up in game and then use that to sort of reference. And I didn't want to spend hours doing that. So I went into the Red Wars 1.88, which is actually where I found the gas mask as well. And I found this hat, which is supposed to be the same hat. It's a much older version of it. This is actually like, I think, an original Mountain Blade model. Or this was made for the original Mountain Blade, so it's a bit dated. It's lower poly. The texture is very flat, but this is going to be easier to work with, I think, because you can see, like, we already know where everything is on here. That's actually part of the texture, so it would be very easy for me to just recolor that. However, when I looked at the texture on this one, I don't remember. Oh, I did change that. Right, so I separated out the hair. If you guys want to know how to do this, so see how this hat has hair attached, right click on it and then split into connected submeshes, and it will divide up any submeshes on there so you can see them individually, which is what I did to this one because I don't need the hair on there. And I also adjusted this hat to be a little bit taller. These ones are a bit flatter, as you can see. I made the hat just a little bit taller. So I am going to save that. And then we're going to go to material, and the issue here is when I open this texture, all I get is the hair. The hats don't show up. So I'm going to have to make my own textures for this, as well as normal maps and specular maps and all of that. So let's start with transferring the helmets, and we'll do this last. So I'm going to take all of these guys, the helmet as well as all the LODs for it, and we're going to right click and go to export combined mesh. And it doesn't matter what we call it, it'll basically extract to our OpenBF folder, OpenBRF folder, as an OBJ. We'll save that. And then we are going to go to, I'm going to import these into the same resource where I did all these Swadian chest riggings and stuff. So I have like the uniforms in one place and then all the accessories and equipment in another place. Just trying to keep things organized. So then we're going to go import, and we're going to import a static mesh, and we're going to find that helmet. So there it is. We'll hit open, and it's going to ask us if we want to import separate meshes. And we're going to say yes, because we don't want all those LODs and the original mesh merged together. This is just going to divide them back up. So we have our helmet. For some reason it renamed them. We can fix that though. It's not a big deal. So rather than .1, we just want it to say .LOD1. And we can just copy and paste that into all the others. Okay, so that's done now. And if for whatever reason we want to remove these little bolt things on the side that hold that metal plate on, we'll use that same split into connected submeshes thing, and it will separate those off. Before I do that though, I'm actually going to duplicate this, and I'm going to rename this to Swadian helmet _B. And I'm going to rename this to Swadian helmet _A. That way, I can have my helmet here, just, you know, the nice plain old helmet. So we'll split that, delete those guys, and then we're just left with the plain old helmet. So that can go, and we'll rename this. And then it looks like probably only this one is going to need to have them removed. I don't know what that is. We'll get rid of it. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And we'll just keep this. So that can go. And we'll probably just leave it at that. This is, I think, you can see him a little bit on there, but it's low poly enough where it shouldn't matter. And if this is ever being shown in game, the helmet is far enough away from you where you wouldn't notice anyways. So A has no little bolts. B has the bolts in case we decide to add the armor plate on here. And I'll probably do a C as well for the gas mask. So let's go ahead and duplicate this one more time, and we'll group rename them to helmet C. Alright. So now what we want to do is we're going to come back over here, and let's see, where was that gas mask? There it is. I'm going to use the mesh from this one, even though it's missing the textures, because it's already lined up with the helmet. So you can see if I add those meshes together, they're already like nice and lined up. Whereas if I were to use it from here, you can see the reference point on this is not the same. So this is actually perpendicular to the gridded plane there, whereas this one is actually laid out parallel to it. So if I were to use the other gas mask, it would be sticking out weird for my helmet, at least in the way that I want to use it. It looks like this helmet, or excuse me, this gas mask was intended to be used as a separate item from the helmet, whereas the one that we want to use is actually going to be a submesh with the helmet. So I don't know if I'm going to bother with any LODs for this. I should. I really should. So I guess I will. We're going to do the same thing, export combined mesh, and then we'll re-import it over here. So static mesh, and it was right there. Okay. We want to split it up, and then we're going to group rename these as well. So Swadian helmet, and we'll just go with C here. Okay, then I need to organize these. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back once that's done. Okay, so I've got them all sorted now. I've got C, C.1, C, LOD1, LOD1.1. I like to keep them organized like that, so you know you can pair these together, pair these together. It doesn't really matter. You could have all the C's and then all the C.1s together. Whatever you prefer, as long as they're organized. So with that, we've got all the helmets transferred over. Now I'm going to need to import the textures and make materials for them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll come back once that's handled. If you guys want to know how to do that, check out, I believe, part 2. I go into a lot of depth on how to do that. I'm going to basically be skipping through everything I've previously covered just so that we can keep moving and not having to rehash the same stuff. So again, I'll go ahead and handle that and be back when I'm done. Okay, so all the textures are inputted, the meshes, or excuse me, the materials are all made up, and so we can actually see them on the helmet now. And here's our other helmet with the little bolts on there, and then our helmet with the gas mask. So those are all ready to get put into the game, but before we move on from that, I'm going to save, and then I'm going to go ahead and start working on the hat. Alright, so this hat is not going to work the way that I wanted it to, so I'm going to scrap that idea. And we'll go back to the other one, which I believe was in here. And we won't be able to add any detail to this really, but the mesh is better anyways, so we're just going to go ahead and use this one. So we're going to go ahead and export, not all of them, combine them, just because it's faster that way. And we're pretty much done with this, so I think I can close it. Then we will, I think I'll import it like right here. So import static mesh, and we'll find our hat. Where the hell is it? There it is. Okay, and then we'll, again, reorganize this, rename it, and we'll copy the textures over. I've already transferred them in the mod folders. I just need to add the textures and the meshes to this resource. Okay, so with the hat transferred over, I just need to retexture it. I don't have that texture open, so let's go into, I guess it would be, I'm gonna have to find it. Okay, so we need to go to this mod, because that's the one we're working on, textures, and it'll be under Swadian underscore, and it should be like hat. There it is. Don't need any mip-maps, just gonna open that right up, and we need to make this color to this color. I might actually be able to get away with, no, I was gonna see if I could just cut a chunk of this out and drop it over, but not gonna work. So you know what, that's close enough. Close enough. I don't think we'll be able to tell the difference in game. So with that, we'll go ahead and merge all this flat. Oh, I have to make that visible. And then we'll go ahead and export it. So Swadian hat underscore 1, I believe that's what it's called. So I'll export it, and that should be all we need. Okay. So now we have, this should actually update, I think, here if I save and then reopen it. It may not register the texture immediately. Yeah, I don't think it will, but in game it'll show up. So we've got our cap, we've got helmet A, helmet B, which I haven't decided if I'm going to fully implement yet, or C with the gas mask. Well, actually, no, definitely C with the gas mask. So A and C for sure. B, again, if I do it, it'll have that little armor plate on it. I might not, I'm not sure. I guess we could also, since C still has it, I could either remove them from C, or I could do maybe C without it, and then C or D with the plate and the gas mask. So that would be like this super heavy gas mask thing. I don't know, just help differentiate the troops a little bit more. Anyways, we'll save that. This resource has already been added to our module.ini, so all we need to do now is go to Morgs, and we can add these into the game. Let's see, which mod am I working on? Oh, Kingdom. Let's get whatever the hell this one is called. I don't know if I want to copy the whole thing. Why won't you just let me? Damn it. I'll just do it this way. Okay. Got it. Paste it in here. And item editor. So we were trying to keep everything together. We need to find the other Swadian stuff. I believe it was at like 209. Yeah. So from here up is going to be our headgear. We'll probably do like hat, helmet, helmet, helmet. And actually, you know what? I'm going to leave this one open just in case I decide to do that extra helmet. So I'll just do these 3 for helmets and this one for the hat. So we're gonna have to change this around. Obviously, it's not gonna be body armor anymore. It's gonna be headgear. And let's see, merchandise, yes. No cover hair. I think we want that checked. Again, I didn't include the default hair attached to it, so I don't want the character's hair being hidden. It might clip a little bit, but I'd rather have their actual hairstyle shown than that stupid default one on everybody. So we'll go with this current arrangement of checked boxes and see what happens. Not going to give any body armor. We'll do like 5 head armor or something. And we'll just have it weight 1, because this is the hat, not the helmet. 38. We'll make it a little bit more expensive. Let's go with like 85. And that should be it. Tattered, ragged, sturdy, thick, probably not hardened. Honestly, I don't really need any of these modifiers for it, but we'll do that and see. Okay. So Swadian cap. Let's grab that name, and we will drop it on over to, to here. Update that. And then again, I like to paste that in for my item ID as well. And then we'll call it the same thing here. I might change that name to something more official. I don't know, but for now, that's fine. We'll update this, and I'm going to repeat this for the helmets now, and I'll come back when that's complete. Okay, so I've got everything added here. I've got the cap, helmet, reinforced helmet, and helmet with gas mask. So we're going to go ahead and jump into game now and make sure all of that worked. Okay, so we're back into my test save here, and I've already got the cheat menu open, so let's go ahead and jump in here. I believe it is the 3rd page that we want to be looking at. And we can see our helmets here. Hopefully they worked out. Oh, I forgot to erase the... We'll have to fix this. I left the blue over everything. There was parts I was supposed to erase. That's clipping with his hair a bit, so we might have to remove the hair. Another option that we could do is make the hat bigger so that it basically sits over the top of it. But the color, I think, is actually pretty close. Yeah, close enough for me. Not too bad, especially since we were just kind of eyeballing it. So here's first helmet. Again, a little bit of hair clipping there. I might end up just having it hide the hair. I didn't want to have to do that, but it looks like pretty much every hairstyle is going to clip. So again, the alternative is to make the helmets bigger so that they cover the entire head and hair area. Also, I'm going to make these helmets darker. I'm not happy with this color. They're going to be more of like a charcoal black almost. Here's the reinforced helmet with the little bolts on it. Hold on, what's going on with this one? For whatever reason, that one... Did I forget to turn that into... I forgot to turn it into head armor. Whoops. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I got this one. So there's our gas mask. I might expand the gas mask. It looks a bit narrow on his face. And I'll probably... I'll definitely hide the hair on this one, because it looks like it wouldn't be very visible anyways. So I'll play around with this and see what works best, what looks best. Oh, here's the pants. I made the boots darker, so they're actually like black now. So we'll be wearing something to this effect. Or the Swadians will anyways. I'm going to make them gloves too. We'll fix the color of the helmets to make it more of a charcoal color. And I'll see about a workaround for the hair. I would like to keep it visible, especially on the plain helmet here, because you know, you'd still kind of be able to see that. But I might just have to do the little default hair that was attached to it already. And so if you're going to do that, it's the same process as we just did, where you export the static mesh and then transfer it over. You'll have to transfer the textures too. If you haven't done it yet and you're following along with this video, you could be one step ahead and just not split the meshes like I did and save yourself a step. But I really wanted to see if I could make the actual hairstyles work, because it would be cool to have, you know, people with like ponytails hanging out the back and stuff. Although that wouldn't be very, like, I don't know, probably not like a true military look there, having ponytails hanging out the back of your helmet. But so here we go with our basic uniform. Next time around, we might take a little bit of a break from uniforms and look at weapons. Let me know what you guys think about that. However, the weapons are going to be a longer process because not only do we need to import the firearms, but there's going to be a lot of animation stuff we're going to have to do as well, because the only firearms supported by native are flintlock pistols. So unless we're going to use the sounds and animations for a flintlock pistol for all of our World War I era rifles, we're going to have to do a little bit of tweaking there as well. So the firearms are going to be a long process. But we can start next time if you guys want to see that, or we could maybe look at another faction's uniforms. We could do some more stuff for Swadia. I'm still thinking about doing officer uniforms, so that's something else to think about. And I might do a shorter cavalry one as well, because the great coats don't mesh well on horses. They get stretched awkwardly. So I was going to do like a normal, just like kind of like shirt length uniform for the cavalry, and maybe like different pants that have higher cut boots, like the Napoleonic era above the knee type boots. We'll see. I'll play with it. But if you guys want to see that next time, let me know. If you'd rather see the firearms stuff, or at least start the firearms stuff, we can do that. Or if you want to maybe start working on the Nords uniforms or Rhodox uniforms, whatever you guys want to do, just let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, I'm going to leave it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing or modding some Mount & Blade Warband with you. Hopefully you guys did as well, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next video.